Namaskaram, Adrian.
Hello, hello. How long have you been traveling for? How long is your journey this time around?
We started on 15th of September. We did 3 days in and out of our center in Tennessee, along the Cherokee Nation, touching the Trail of Tears and things, but 18th morning we left. So since then we've been completely on road. We thought we'll close it by 10th, 12th of October, but it looks like it's going to 20th.
Well, I'm really happy to be here with you now and hear about your journey and I don't know. I mean, this is sort of a unexpected opportunity to ask you a question or two.
Don't ask me difficult questions, huh? Ask me something nice and easy.
I've been working to create an impact investment company and really looking at the way our relationship to money and how it affects our motivation and how it affects the world outside. And I really want to be able to make a positive impact through investment. But I sometimes wonder if that's even possible, if money itself is even it's possible to diffuse the distortions that it creates with our relationship to each other, the world, and our values. So I just thought you might have some insight there.
So I know there is a whole lot of philosophies running in the world, how money is evil, money is this, money is that, it destroys human beings. I think anything can destroy a human being if he doesn't handle it right. That is also true with the instrument that we call as money. So money, as we say, it's a currency. It is only a means. We could have just done barter trading between people, but as our transactions became more and more complex, we needed an instrument. So this is just an over-exaggeration of things that people get identified with the means rather than the end. Why does anybody seek money in the very beginning? One thing is nourishment. People want to eat well. Once that is done, lifestyles. Once that is done, it is a power trip, all right? So essentially it's an instrument for something else. So when we have an instrument, suppose I give you a screwdriver, you can use it to fix some machine, or you can use it to scratch your head. Some people, I've seen them using a screwdriver to clean their ears. They may not have their ears for very long, or they may violently poke it into somebody. I'm saying every instrument is like this. The hand that holds it determines the quality of the instrument. By instrument by itself doesn't do anything. Money by itself doesn't do anything. It is a certain empowerment. How we use this empowerment is definitely left to us. I heard that you're trying to do investments which are sustainable and, which helps people to create at least a little more sensitive economic process. I think that is very important. It is just that one like you, another 10 like you, doing it is not enough. It is important. The world's economy itself becomes a more gentler economy, more compassionate economy, and of course more sustainable. When something is gentle and compassionate, it'll naturally be sustainable. Right now, our economic engine is all of us got our throttles to the floor, but nobody has a hand on the steering wheel. We don't know where it's going. It's simply going.
Okay. Yeah, so, what I'm gathering is it's the intention, right? What we use it for.
Yes.
The thing that I have an issue with is even as good as my intention is, there's so many complexities and I can't always have a full purview of what my investment, for example, how it's going to affect the world, especially with businesses that are so complex, that are around the world, that are large and complex in nature. So how can I be sure that I'm investing in a company that doesn't have a lot of downstream externalities that might be bad?
Yes, as I said, see, the value of the instrument is only in the hand that holds it. Hand is not just an intention, it is also a competence, isn't it? Intentions are there. Intentions may be great, but also executing it in such a way that the intention is fulfilled is also our responsibility. Is that 100% in our hands? I doubt it. Most of the time it may not be. But to the best of our ability or to the best of the abilities that are available around us, we must ensure that the intentions are fulfilled, that it doesn't… what seems to be good today can be a terrible thing tomorrow after 50 years' time, that is always there. So, looking at it looking at it in depth with a certain insight, seeing how this investment or these investments don't turn against the basic intention with which we are doing that. So one simple way is, see, there are many things happening in the world, but in terms of ecology, in terms of making things sustainable, various industries, technologies, new innovations coming up, much is happening. But one thing that I would like to point out to you, I want you to ponder on this is, see, everybody, if you say pollution, if you say ecological degradation, everybody says industry, the smoke coming out of the chimneys and this and that, and effluents going into the rivers. Yes, all these things are issues. And plastics in the oceans, plastic floating all over the place. Yes, it is all true. These things need to be addressed. But the most urgent thing that needs to be fixed is the soil. Because this 39 inches of topsoil around the world on an average, this soil determines the life of all human beings, all animals, all plants, trees, birds, insects, microbes, everybody. 80% or 85% of all life on this planet lives because of this 39 inches of topsoil. But that topsoil is going into such a level of degradation. Without turning that around, everything else that we do, unfortunately, may go waste even if we have the best intentions. When I say turning the soil around, right now, nearly in some countries, like for example in India, 84% of the land is tilled by the farmer. In United States, it may be around 40% or something in that range. I'm not very sure about the number. But in different countries, it's different. If you go to more populated nations, it is over 70–80%. Largely approximately about 51 million square kilometers of land is being plowed, under plow right now in the world. This is what needs to be taken care of. In the last 50 years, the way we farm the land has taken the soil out, taken the soil to such a level of degradation that desertification is happening large scale. To tell you the statistics which are alarming, for example, in India there is a history of 12,000 years of agriculture. It is a land where the weather and the soil has been such that we take 3 to 4 crops in a year. 12 months of the year we farm. For 12,000 years we farmed, but in 50 years we have brought it to a place where 52% of the land is right now being declared as degraded soil or fallow land. 52% in 50 years' time. Because of the agricultural practices, what we call as modern agriculture, once there is population pressure, this happens like this. So turning this around is one of the vital things. So if you keep this in mind when you make investments, this will not go wrong. That's why I'm saying. If you make the soil organically rich, that cannot go wrong. There is a whole lot of investment opportunity, there is a whole lot of opportunity for entrepreneurs to enter this space and make sure the soil is rich, because what we call as our body itself is the soil that we walk upon. If that is not rich, this life cannot be rich. So I'm just saying this is one of the things that you could focus on. Whatever enhances the quality of the soil cannot go wrong, that money cannot go waste.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I have a challenge is trying to convince investors to put their money where profits may be maybe not as much, but the social, environmental profits will be greater. And people are very focused on making a lot of money that they can have, as opposed to recognizing the impact or the ripple of their investment out into the world. So how do you convince somebody that their investment should be beyond just profits, but should be for the planet?
See, when you term something as an investment, naturally profit is the goal, isn't it? So the question is only, are you willing to wait for a period of time to get back your money? Or you want to get back, we know immediately, within a year or two, whatever the expectation is. And also, how much do you get out of that? That is what you're saying. But the people who handle money, their idea of growth is only more money. You can't tell that guy, make less money and be happy with it. He doesn't listen to that. So there are many ways to handle this, in the sense, the investors, wherever they come from, to transform the atmospheres in which they live, so that their life gets better by investing in the region, to show them visually that this is what happens, even if that's done small scale. Large scale activity is happening somewhere else, let us say. Small scale, if it happens around them, maybe they will be able to recognize that and maybe able to appreciate the value of what you're saying, the value of sustainable returns that are happening in terms of cleaner air, in terms of pure water, in terms of a richer land. This is happening. If we are doing it elsewhere, let's say, wherever we are doing, if you also do it in their garden and show them what happens and how their life changes, maybe they will be able to appreciate it more. But essentially, it's their money, and they think they want this much out of it. You can't help it, but because they're the ones who decide that, we can try to impress upon them by showing them the value of the other values of life. Because for me, life means nutritious food, pure water, clean air. This is life, because this is what makes my life tick. But their idea of life is counting money in the bank, how much money, how much money. So one thing to remind everybody is, this is a limited amount of time what we have on this planet here, all of us.
Yeah.
In this limited amount of time, unlimited wealth means nothing. If you had unlimited amount of time, unlimited amount of wealth means something. Limited amount of time, unlimited amount of wealth means nothing. And anyway, either FedEx or DHL doesn't take any packages or a container full of cash or things for you when you go. All you get is a small box, okay? So packages don't go anywhere. So if this much is make everybody realize that, I think at least in the later part of their life, they may start investing in a different mode, which lives beyond them, which lives for everybody's well-being.
Yeah, I'm trying to bridge that gap, and